It's been called heaven on earth. Twin flame union has been referred to in so many different ways. It's usually thought of as really mystical and difficult to understand or define, let alone describe the experience of being within it. The thing about twin flame union is it's not something that we are experiencing physically, externally, although those external factors are there. But the true union is something that is happening within us. Maybe when we refer to twin flame union as heaven on earth, we are simply referring to the fact that the heaven within us, the true soul self within us, is being given physical space for fuller expression through our connection with our mirror soul, with this reflection of that true soul nature. Twin flame union isn't one moment in time or some kind of end point destination, although it's easy to see it that way as twin flames, because I feel like the human part of us wants to achieve set goals. We want to cross a finish line. And for many people, twin flame union is that metaphorical finish line. It's that point in which you anticipate this sigh of relief. It's what we fantasize and daydream about when we are still in the early stages of coming into a realization or a knowledge of this connection. But the truth about twin flame union is that it is much more complex than our ego mind, our human self, wants to believe it to be. It's not the end goal, it's another jumping off point for expansion, for growth. Because one thing about the twin flame journey, or really just about the universe at large, is that we are always expanding. Everything is growing, is expanding, is moving forward. And as human beings, if we aren't growing, if we aren't expanding, we are dying. I mean, in some sense, we would cease to exist, but it would be impossible to not expand. To stop expanding would be to go against our very nature and soul deep intentions that we created at the very origin of our own existence, to continually expand, grow, and evolve, not just in a single lifetime, but in lifetime after lifetime. In fact, the reason you chose to come back here to planet Earth once again in this lifetime is because you wanted to continue expanding, to continue evolving. And for many of you listening who connect with the idea of being twin flames, this twin flame path is very intertwined with your life path, with your soul purpose. So many of you have asked me, many of you beautiful souls in the comments have requested that I create a video on twin flame union and what it's like to be in union with my twin flame. I've kind of been putting off this video a little bit just because I want to find the right words to describe the experience of union in a way that is both true to my experience, that is authentic to what I've experienced, without sugarcoating my experiences, of course, but at the same time, being able to share the beauty and the joy that I have personally experienced along this path, and especially in union, since coming into this kind of so-called union stage. And I say it's so-called because just like with so many things, so many spiritual experiences we have here and then teach or describe to each other, because we are all each other's teacher. I might be a teacher for you, and you listening to this are a teacher for me. I really believe we all have something to teach one another, and that teaching is really the reason that we come together with each other. But I feel that sometimes as we experience these things spiritually and then try to share them with others, sometimes things can get lost in translation, because some experiences truly defy words. And I say this all the time, and I know many of you understand this in your heart and soul. You don't need me to say that it's difficult sometimes to describe the twin flame path in words, because many of you experience this when you're trying to describe it even to family or friends or other people in your life. And really, to some extent, every spiritual experience is that way. It's things that leave a profound mark on your soul are sometimes so challenging to put into words. It's like trying to bring down this very high, very untouchable energy to this kind of dense 3D physical level through your words, describing it through your language. So I'm just saying all of this because I know many of you will connect with this as twin flames who have trouble sharing or describing your experiences with others. But then also, just as I feel a very important preface to sharing about all of this, something about twin flame union that I feel is something that I personally misunderstood when I was first seeking information about these topics, is that twin flame union isn't one sudden moment in time when everything clicks and you are suddenly permanently feeling happy all the time, no disagreements ever with this person, no change. It's like I feel that I thought twin flame union was this point at which, again, it was this end destination. Nothing really changes after that point, or at least that's what I thought. Like, you kind of reach twin flame union and that's it. You never have another disagreement. You never have another challenging day. You never feel triggered again by anything. But the way that I see it and what I believe about this is that to never be triggered again in your love life with any person, including your twin flame, to never experience any kind of pain emotionally, to never feel like you are growing or changing, would be essentially the equivalent of death for the soul. It would run completely contradictory to our soul nature. That is why I say that I feel this is a path of perpetual expansion, evolution, and growth, even within, and perhaps even especially when we are in that phase of twin flame union. Now, I want to say that I also feel people describe twin flame union very differently. And I feel this is something that your intuition can speak on for you personally, because I do feel that along this path, we each come to this earth with different soul intentions for all areas of our life. And if we are twin flames, for this twin flame connection, we have our own intentions as well. I say this because I feel for some of you, twin flame union may look like a marriage. It may look like having a family. For others of you, this may be moving in together. For some of you, this might be living in the same city and being in a relationship. I don't like to put physical limitations on certain definitions within this twin flame connection, because although we experience we all experience a certain kind of twin flame frequency that causes us to have many similar feelings, emotions, physical sensations, and even experiences in our lives. Oftentimes, our experiences can also be very different because even when energy is the same, the ways that we process and feel that energy can vary from person to person. And of course, then your intentions, your soul intentions, will be different than mine. All of our soul intentions can be very different. So when I talk about twin flame union, I want you to simply envision whatever you in your heart and soul, using your own intuition, envision when you think of yourself in union with your twin flame. So for me personally, this was living together in the same space with my twin flame and being in what I consider to be a traditional romantic relationship, being together, being committed to one another in that kind of human physical sense, although the soul commitment was always there, has always been there, and was something that we always felt for one another even prior to being in a so-called relationship in the physical world. For me, union was, and again, this is just from my soul's intentions for my own connection. Union was being in the same physical space, which in our case is living together and being in a relationship with one another romantically. Now, again, I know I'm disclaiming this a lot, but I feel the need to do that because I never want anyone listening to feel as though I'm trying to force my ideas or opinions or beliefs upon them, because my only goal through this channel is to reconnect you with the truth within you, with your own intuition. And that voice within you, that inner voice, has all of the answers for you personally. So all of that being said, I know this was such a long preface to this video. And someone in the comments, you can feel free to leave a timestamp of when I get into the actual signs of twin flame union or what I have experienced in twin flame union. But I feel that many of you may have needed to hear something within that whole kind of introduction, or that might just be kind of an important groundwork, an important foundation for everything that I'm about to share. So the first thing I want to say about twin flame union is that growth does not stop at union. Expansion does not stop. To stop expanding would be contrary to our very soul nature. So thing number one about twin flame union is that after reaching this union with your twin flame, whatever that means for you, you and your person will always continue to grow, expand, evolve, and change. The second thing about twin flame union, and this is actually the thing that completely surprised me the most, and I feel like it's something that isn't really talked about that often, but your ability to create rapid and amazing change in your life, your so-called manifestation power, if you are also someone who studies the law of attraction, your manifestation power is greatly amplified when in union with your twin flame. Now, of course, I don't subscribe to the idea that we need anyone to complete us. Our twin flame, in my view, isn't there to necessarily complete us in some way, but to reconnect us with the knowing that we were always complete to begin with, to connect us with ourselves. So in connecting us with our authentic true self, our twin flame also connects us with those deep reserves of power that we've always had within ourselves. And I have found that since being in union with my twin flame, I have been able to manifest a lot faster in my life. Now, I feel that part of the cause for this may be because in the process of coming into union, it required me to go through a very deep and intense dark night of the soul, a spiritual awakening, and an ego death. So through that process, I really feel I awakened to the truth of who I am and to a remembrance of my own creative power and natural manifestation abilities. And I feel like this is a common thread for twin flames. It's like this path that to others may appear to be just love and romance related is actually a path leading us back to the core of our own being, leading us back to ourselves in the most true sense, our true, authentic selves, the self that we may have long forgotten or maybe can't even remember knowing in this lifetime. Just this kind of seed of core authenticity that exists within us, that soul self. And through this process of remembering who we truly are, we really clear our energy field by releasing all of the binds, the invisible binds and strings and restrictions, artificial restrictions that other people placed upon us, whether these people were families, generations of teachings, of limiting beliefs that were passed down to us, whether this was some kind of active emotional or energetic wounding from a parent or a teacher or a lover in our past. All of these situations, they cause energy blocks within us, limitations within us, limiting beliefs. I called them limitations, but really they only limit us because they are implanted within our mind, because they limit our beliefs. We are limited by other people artificially, and then we take those limits on as our own and spend the rest of our lives limiting ourselves until we realize where that programming came from and begin to unravel it. These subconscious negative beliefs are all stored in the unconscious mind, which is a direct reflection of the energy field. And this is also why I am so passionate about subliminal affirmations as a really powerful sound therapy tool, because subliminals are targeted to release those blockages, those energy blocks, those limiting beliefs, and get you back to your core authentic self, to assist you in reprogramming your own subconscious mind for whatever you desire to manifest in your life. So in the case of the twin flame connection, I've created a 7-chakra twin flame clearing subliminal. This is designed specifically for twin flames to work through each of the 7 chakra centers, the main energy centers within the energy body, and to address and release any negative pockets of resistance stored within any of these 7 chakras. And simultaneously, this subliminal works to implant powerful, positive thoughts and ideas within the subconscious, designed to essentially get you back to your core authentic state, and in doing so, assist you in raising your vibration and becoming more magnetic for your twin flame in the physical. So this comes from my website, soundandsoulful.com, where I've created over 100 subliminals for all areas of life. So I will leave a link to this 7-chakra twin flame clearing subliminal in the pinned comment and the description box. Click that link and you can learn more about all of the energetic benefits I intended when I created this subliminal for you. So the next thing about twin flame union is that it inspires within you radical authenticity. One thing I notice about being in twin flame union is that the more and more I come back to the truth of who I really am, even within this union, within this physical romantic relationship I share with my twin flame, Again, I feel I'm always expanding, evolving, and growing, just as we all are. And through this process, I find myself becoming increasingly and more radically authentic. And as I continue to reach further into this authenticity within myself, I find my connection with my twin flame continues to grow stronger. Now, this isn't unique to twin flame union. This is how it is through the entire twin flame path. I just think I notice it more being so physically present with my twin flame counterpart, that the more I come into my true authenticity, the more you express yourself authentically, fearlessly, even when you're afraid, when you continue to speak more of your truth, to shine more of your light, to be more authentic to yourself, the more I feel connected to my twin flame, even in physical union. It's very obvious to me, being in union, how responsive my twin flame is in the moment to how authentic I am being or feeling within myself. One example of this that I just found kind of funny is that, so I was having an experience where my twin flame had said something that triggered my ego, because again, another thing about twin flame union is you do still find yourself triggered by a lot of situations and conversations, by certain things when you are slipping back into that ego mindset, because none of us are here to experience a purely soul experience without also experiencing ego. We come into this human form to experience both the spiritual and the material blended together. And so at times I still allow myself to slip back into this ego mindset. And when I do this, I can be triggered at times, just as any twin flame can at any point in this connection. And I found in an experience of being triggered, I withdrew myself from the situation. I went to another room. I'm like, okay, I need to release whatever the root cause of this trigger is. Like, why am I feeling this way? Because to my logical mind, it just seemed irrational. And I started meditating, and I used one of my subliminals. It's actually for twin flame heart chakra activation. I'll also leave a link to this in the description box if you want to check it out. But this subliminal specifically, it was so funny because I started meditating to it, and I felt myself truly coming into my authenticity, feeling into my heart space as I was listening. And then as I'm just like feeling almost like I'm floating, I'm feeling my heart chakra opening in a really powerful way. I feel like this energetic sigh of relief, like I've released all of this wounding, all of this feeling of disconnect that my ego had created even within this physical union. My ego had just imagined, perceived this disconnect. And it's like once I released that, I felt this huge relief energetically, and this just kind of feeling of floating on this love energy, this breaking open of my heart chakra. And as I was listening, my twin flame, he had gone out to go somewhere at the same time. And he actually texted me like right as I was listening, which was funny because it made me realize that even regardless of whether you are in the same room, in the same city, in a relationship physically with your twin flame, or whether you haven't spoken in months or years and are thousands of miles away, this relationship is so, or I should say this connection, it may or may not be a physical relationship right now for you, but this connection is so incredibly responsive to your energy. When you shift your energy in some way, your twin flame feels it instantaneously, which really brings me to the next thing about twin flame union is small energetic shifts are extremely perceptible to one another. It's almost like it's like telepathy, but I speak often about telepathy through your energy. And again, this is something that I know many of you experience even at a distance physically from your twin flame, is this responsiveness to their energy. Maybe the difference with twin flame union is it makes me feel a little less crazy, because when I am at a distance or was at a distance from my twin flame physically, it could be so confusing because I would feel these major energy swings, like mood swings, but with your energy, where all of a sudden something would shift in me and it would be completely out of the blue. And I would have no idea why. And I know many of you experience this. And I guess twin flame union, what I'm saying is the same thing does happen. Like you can experience your twin flame's moods, whether they're in the room or whether they're, a mile away at the store or whatever. But I think the difference is when you are in this so-called union, you're able to just see the physical evidence of why you are feeling that shift, if that makes sense. I know many of you do experience this, even if you aren't in this like so-called union. But if you are simply around your twin flame very frequently and you feel a shift in your energy, and then you end up talking to them and they say that they were having an especially bad day or a particularly good day. So in twin flame union, the same thing happens. It's just that I think your ego gets to actually see that evidence of why you're feeling those shifts and feeling that connection in real time. The next thing about twin flame union is that everything is so effortless. I dated a few people before being with my twin flame in a relationship, and one thing that I always found is that there was always an element of tension because I never felt like I could fully relax around another person. And I actually feel like part of the reason for this is because on a soul level, I wasn't allowing myself to relax into these other relationships or connections, because I had this awareness that something more meant for me, something I had intended was coming, was on the way. So it's like on a soul level, I had this restlessness because I knew I couldn't get too comfortable with these other people in these other connections, because I knew that my twin flame was out there. I felt the connection to him even at those times prior to meeting him, when I may have been trying to evade those feelings, evade that inner knowing. And what I would say is that like effortless is the best word I can use to describe it. It's, again, bear with me because these things are so challenging to put into physical words, as you all know on this path. But it's like I feel so incredibly safe, secure, and comfortable within this connection, regardless of what kind of day I've had, how confident I may or may not be feeling about myself, how I feel about myself physically. It's like all of those things, all of those fears, insecurities, anxieties, it's like I still experience those things, but they are on this kind of outer layer. And beneath that, at the core, there's always this core of stability, security, and trust, like a very deep level emotional trust within this connection. And because of those feelings of inner security, inner stability within this union I'm experiencing, I've also found that it allows me the space to fully commit myself to my life's work, to the pursuits of the endeavors in life that I've always known were my purpose here, but never, it's almost like prior to being in union, I never fully felt as though I had a secure foundation upon which to build upon. Now, of course, I'm not saying that you have to hold out until union to manifest your goals or dreams, to work on yourself. We all, at all phases of our life, create amazing things. We are all powerful, creative beings, regardless of whether or not we are in this union with our twin flame in the physical. But I'm just saying it almost feels like I get to create and manifest on easy mode, which sounds kind of cheesy, but it's almost like having a cheat code to creating, because I feel this sense of comfort, safety, and security emotionally, which has allowed me to allow myself more of that space to create and to commit time to my life purpose. And really, that is so much of the reason why I was able to create and start this community that we are all now a part of here on YouTube. I never would have been able to create these things in my life if it wasn't for being in union with my twin flame. And I'm not saying I couldn't have created other things or had success with other things in my life, but I feel that this channel and this platform, this spiritual space here that we've created together behind the scenes, although I don't often talk about it specifically, my twin flame is there supporting me energetically, emotionally, materially. We are running all of this together. I know that he doesn't speak on this channel, but he is as much a part of it as I am. He is always there supporting. It's like, as twin flames, they talk about how you will end up sharing some kind of a life purpose together, or something that you will do or create that helps to uplift the planet in some way. And I'll be honest, a few years ago, if you would have told me that, I never would have thought that I would have been doing what I'm doing now. I wouldn't really have had any clue what that so-called life purpose or shared purpose with my twin flame would have been. But the thing about this path is that you don't have to force a life purpose. You don't have to force any of these things to come into being. If you continue to focus on yourself, clearing your own energy, coming back into yourself, while continuing to, as a result of that, of course, come closer to this person, to your twin flame, be drawn together. It's like over time, things naturally unfold. The more you become capable of hearing and listening to your own intuition and becoming more authentic in every area of your life, the more you are capable of reaching more fulfillment. Not fulfillment for the ego, because I feel that we are all taught by society to fulfill what other people think our lives should look like, or what they think we should be like. And this is all ego fulfillment. But I feel like part of this twin flame union and this twin flame path is about achieving or reaching towards greater soul fulfillment, fulfilling more of our soul's needs, desires, dreams, those core visions that we have within us, that we've always had within us, because they were soul intentions, not just childhood fantasies, but actual intentions that we created for ourselves before coming to this earth, saying, these are the things that I am going to do in this life. And I feel that being with my twin flame in union just assists me in continuing to become more authentic, more true to myself, more expansive in all areas of my life. And in the process of doing all of that, I find that I'm also capable of manifesting a lot faster, because I am coming from a more authentic and soulful state than I feel I have been in the past. So I know that was a bit convoluted. I hope that makes sense. If any of my thoughts here did resonate with you, I would love if you could subscribe to this channel. I'm hoping through this platform to attract as many beautiful, powerful, like-minded, conscious, creative beings here as possible, so that we can support and uplift one another throughout every step of our journey through life. So you can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself, where I post high vibrational content to keep your vibration up all day long. I hope you all have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day. To access the 2 subliminals I mentioned in this video, which were my 7 chakra twin flame clearing and my twin flame heart chakra activation, you can click the links in the pinned comment or in the description box under this video. Have a beautiful rest of your evening, and I will speak to you again in the next video.